The movie opens with an unidentified figure confronting several men inside a building belonging to a criminal organization. The figure swiftly eliminates many of them before reaching the top floor, where the mafia boss is protected by several guards. A fierce battle ensues, during which the figure's face is finally revealed. She is a woman with short hair named Sook-hee. After defeating the men, Sook-hee approaches the mafia boss, ties a rope around his neck, and leaps out of a window, killing him. She then releases the rope and falls to the ground, where the police immediately arrest her. Later, in an office, a group of people reviews security footage of the incident. They see how Sook-hee single-handedly took down the entire criminal organization they had been pursuing. The footage also reveals an unknown masked individual who used the chaos to steal drugs, though his identity remains unknown. The group discusses what to do with Sook-hee, acknowledging her dangerous skills. One woman suggests that she could be a valuable asset due to her exceptional combat abilities. Sometime later, Sook-hee wakes up in a white room. She briefly stands but soon inhales a gas that causes her to lose consciousness. As she drifts in and out, she realizes she is in an operating room where doctors are surgically altering her face. Days later, she finds herself back in the same room, this time eating a meal. However, the gas reappears, making her lose consciousness again. A flashback reveals her past training, where she learned to hold her breath for an impressive 6 minutes. In the present, someone enters her room to take her away, believing she is unconscious. However, she was merely pretending and holding her breath. Seizing the opportunity, Sook-hee escapes and encounters several silent young women engaged in activities like dancing, cooking, and acting. Sook-hee makes her way to the terrace, attempting to escape, but is shot and falls to the ground. The entire event is captured on camera and observed by a group of men, who then discuss her fate. They decide that whoever can make Sook-hee fall in love will receive a promotion. Later, Sook-hee meets a woman in charge of an agency. The woman informs Sook-hee that she is pregnant and must sign a contract if she wants to protect herself and her child. The contract requires her to stay at the facility for 10 years and follow orders, after which she will be granted freedom. Sook-hee, determined to ensure her child's safety, agrees. While living there, she maintains a seemingly normal life, cooking and participating in recreational activities, while also training to enhance her combat skills. Eventually, Sook-hee gives birth to a baby girl. Meanwhile, the agency determines which handler she will be assigned to, and a man, whose name is not immediately revealed, shows particular interest in her. A flashback reveals that Sook-hee's father was murdered, igniting her desire for revenge, though she never had the chance to carry it out. In the present, Sook-hee continues to train for years as her daughter grows up. Eventually, her superiors assign her first mission, to assassinate a man. Sook-hee successfully carries out the hit but is deeply shaken when she sees the victim's daughter witnessing the event, triggering memories of her own father's murder. The commotion alerts the guards, forcing Sook-hee to flee on a motorcycle. As she speeds through the streets, she takes down several pursuers but ultimately finds herself cornered. To escape, she throws herself into the sea. A few days later, having successfully completed the mission, Sook-hee is informed that she will soon be granted freedom and allowed to live a normal life in a regular home. Her boss takes Sook-hee and her daughter to a house in the city, where they are given new identities. Soon after moving in, she encounters Hyun-soo, the man assigned to her, who has just moved into the apartment next door, part of a plan to make her fall in love. Hyun-soo gradually integrates himself into Sook-hee's life, winning both her trust and affection. Meanwhile, another flashback reveals that after her father's death, Sook-hee was kidnapped and raised by a mafia boss, who trained her as an assassin. Over time, she fell in love with him, and they eventually married. However, during their honeymoon, her husband abruptly left, only for Sook-hee to later learn that he had been murdered by the same man who had killed her father. This fueled her desire for vengeance, leading her to eliminate the mafia boss seen at the beginning of the film. In the present, Sook-hee and Hyun-soo grow closer. One night, Sook-hee receives a call from her superiors about a new mission. She asks Hyun-soo to look after her daughter while she steps out. Arriving at the mission site, she reunites with a friend from the agency, who tells her that if they complete this job, she will also be granted freedom. Their task is to extract information from a group of men, but things go awry, resulting in a violent confrontation that ends with Sook-hee's friend losing her life. Devastated, Sook-hee returns home. The next day, she asks Hyun-soo to marry her so that, in the event of her death, her daughter will have someone to care for her. She later informs her boss, who not only approves but also offers to organize the wedding. On the wedding day, Sook-hee receives a call from her boss assigning her a mission. She must assassinate someone with a sniper rifle. Dressed in her wedding gown, she retrieves the prepared weapon and aims from a window, only to realize that her target is none other than her ex-husband, Jung-sung, who was believed to be dead. Shocked, she misses the shot, quickly erases the evidence, and proceeds with her wedding. Later, she begins to suspect that Jung-sung faked his death to manipulate her into eliminating the criminal organization. That night, Jung-sung investigates who attempted to kill him and soon recognizes Sook-hee, despite her altered appearance. Sook-hee later learns that another assassin has been assigned to kill Jung-sung but chooses not to intervene. However, a few days later, she receives a bouquet of flowers with a note and a USB drive. The footage reveals that Hyun-soo is actually an agent from the same organization. Realizing that he deceived her, she deduces that Jung-sung sent the video as a warning. In response, she secretly informs Jung-sung of the second assassination attempt. Jung-sung evades the attack and captures the assassin. Meanwhile, Sook-hee's boss has her kidnapped in order to use her as a bargaining chip. En route to the exchange point, their convoy is ambushed by unknown men, who eliminate the guards. However, the boss escapes, and Sook-hee realizes that Jung-sung was behind the rescue. Sook-hee asks him to pick up her daughter, to which he agrees. But just as she arrives at her apartment, she witnesses an explosion that hurls Hyun-soo and her daughter out of the window, killing them. Enraged, she storms into her boss's office, believing she orchestrated the attack. However, the boss presents security footage proving otherwise. The video shows that Jung-sung's men captured Hyun-soo and discovered that Sook-hee's daughter was biologically Jung-sung's child. Despite this, Jung-sung ordered her execution. Hyun-soo refused and fought back but was ultimately overpowered. The explosion was triggered as Sook-hee arrived, ensuring she would witness their deaths. Furious, Sook-hee seeks revenge. She confronts Jung-sung, who taunts her by revealing that he also murdered her father. Enraged, she fights him. Jung-sung eventually attempts to escape on a bus with his gang, but Sook-hee pursues them. A brutal battle unfolds, culminating in a final showdown between Sook-hee and Jung-sung. In the climactic moment, Sook-hee causes the bus to crash, leaving only her, Jung-sung, and the driver alive. Jung-sung, wounded, urges her not to kill him, warning that she will regret it. Ignoring his words, she executes him just as the police arrive to arrest her, mirroring the film's opening scene. The end.